In today's episode, I'm going to give you a simple tip in order to create better content. Hey everyone, Matt Jarrow here. Welcome to Build Your Thing, the podcast where we help content creators find their unique creative voice, monetize their work, and build a tribe of loyal fans. I'm your host, Matt Jarrow, and I'm thrilled to have your attention today. So, as a content creator, actually what we want to do is we want to create awesome content so that our audience resonate with what we have to say, and then down the road monetize it by actually selling our stuff to them. So this is a pretty quote unquote simple business model. I mean, I think that everything can grasp it. Everyone can grasp it. The issue though is that creating content isn't that simple. And I really want to refer back to a content creator I talked to on the phone and who has like great success on Twitter. And, I was asking him a few questions about how he actually comes up with his ideas, how he actually manages his content creation workflow. And, I have been asking him, do you feel like being caught in information overload? Do you think that you have too many things to consume and so on and so forth? And then he told me, no, I'm actually pretty mindful about what I'm consuming. And I just told him that was actually great. And then I just asked him, okay, so what are you actually consuming? So are you reading books? Are you doing something? And he was just telling me, not really. So I remember a few months ago, I just read this or that book. And I just remember like big idea of the book, and I'm fine with that. And I was kind of shocked because, if you have to create content every day, you certainly need to have some intake. I mean, you may grasp it or not, but the thing is that your brain actually comes up with ideas depending on your experiences, the things that you actually came across, and everything. Like it's like a giant blender in your head, and then, your brain just comes up with ideas. So even though you may not really realize it, everything that you pour out is actually just a mix and match between the things that you already consumed in the past. And then I just wanted to understand, like, how is he able actually to create content? And then he's telling me, I'm in this kind of niche that this is like this niche is kind of new, and there aren't actually some reference books in the niche. And most of the things that I actually pour out is just things that I see on Twitter. Interesting. So you're not consuming any books. You're not like reading, high level stuff, but you're on Twitter. And then you're telling me that you're not consuming anything? I mean, your newsfeed is actually your intake, right? If you want it or not. Like, if you're, let's say, creating or reverse engineering how other actually grew on Twitter, and that you are just taking actually analyzing what they did, my friend, you are actually consuming content. And to be honest, like, you may just follow like the best thinkers in the world. I mean, a Twitter feed remains a Twitter feed, right? At the end, you don't have that much meat that you can process and really think about it and start making relationships, because this feed is actually constantly refreshing. So I'm not saying that you don't have to be on Twitter, but the truth is that no matter what you think, the things that you are actually reading, the things that you're actually consuming, the things that you're actually doing every day influence your output. So if we actually embrace this premise, this means that if you want to create better output, we have just to level up our input. Pretty simple. Which means that you're going to go back to authorities, people who have a lot of credibility, people who are recognized for their work in a specific field. And won't it be better to study these kind of people? Because we know it, right? Nothing is really new under the sun. Like every idea, everything that we are doing is just a mix and match between past ideas, right? So this is why actually spending some time about understanding what your intake look like, maybe one of the best decisions that you can actually take today in order just to level up your content. Because if you're consuming better quality content, inherently, you'll have better quote unquote Lego blocks that you can build up on and actually mix and match between them to just come out with your own ideas, right? But this is actually easier said than done, right? But for my side, what I'm doing is I stripped away all social media and I just create an environment where I can just re-engage with the best content that I have consumed and re-engage with it on a regular basis, right? This is actually really in the center, in the middle of my personal knowledge management, right? Of my note-taking, if you prefer, right? So, of course, there are some nuances between the PKM, personal knowledge management, and note-taking, so I won't go too geeky into that in this episode. But the thing is that if you actually start creating a note-taking system that actually empowers you, not actually to feed your brain from Twitter, but feed your brain from books, which have been proven that books actually, no matter any discipline or anything you want to learn, books still remain the go-to resource, right? Plus, they are cheap. So definitely something that you have to think about. And if you actually want to know how you can create actually your own note-taking system in order to create better content, in order just to become a better thinker and just to become a thought leader in your niche, right? Because if you have better ideas, inherently you're going to be perceived as the go-to guy, right, in a specific niche. Then I would strongly encourage you to actually check out my free 7-day note-taking course. I just linked to that in the description. And I hope to see you there. And with that being said, I see you in the next one.